short scope, how much control do you like to have? Because you're both screenwriters, you've both been directors, you're both producers. Now you have your own organizations that you're running. How much control do you like having going into the production? What I mean is, there are different aspects. The location manager, the casting. If you want to work with a particular script writer, if you're not the one who's writing the script, how much control do you like to have as you're going into production? What is it? And just talk about that. I think I'll start with Robert.
Thank you for that. I think for me, I'm a very easygoing guy. I'm very flexible, but experience kind of shows otherwise, because all the films and that I've done, I've either produced or directed or written. So I would say that as an artist, I think any artist, even some, can attest to this. It's really hard to kind of divorce yourself from what you want to express. And whenever you're doing a commercial project, you kind of weigh the pros and cons that come into the project, because at the end of the day, you do not want to compromise on your creative expression. So you find most directors end up or prefer to, or if they're writers, end up directing what they've written and would rather do it themselves. So for me, most of the things I've written, I've directed. I don't think I've ever directed anything that I have never directed a script that I've not written yet. Not to say that I cannot, but I haven't. It's just how it is what it is right now. But if it was to happen, I would welcome it. But then again, I also look at values. For example, we all have values, and we also have a threshold of compromise of the same values, and some values we can't compromise. So there are some scripts you just say are resounding not to. But generally, I would rather have creative freedom in my projects. And whenever I do not have creative freedom, it compromises on the quality of the final product. Not because I am the best for the job, but because you are not allowing me to be the best I can be in this particular case. So in that case, I would rather say no, so that you get the person who would say yes and give their best to.
Yeah, no, it's just something that sparked something in my brain. Robert's right. To be frank, I'd rather control my own stuff, because it's one thing. How can I say? Okay, I'll pick up on what he's just said. Alignment, because sometimes the challenges I have found watching work that I have seen on TV or online, some of the times it's because I find that the scripts are still missing a certain level of development. That it feels like someone rushed to make something, and for me that's really a challenge, because first and foremost, like I mentioned earlier, I'm a storyteller, or I'd like to be a storyteller. So when people don't respect that process, because I'm going to say it outright, and it might be controversial, but I think it's a lack of respect for the writing process. That everyone assumes that the writer is a discardable object, yet without that script there is no film. Without the script, there are no TV stars, there are no film stars, there are no direct. It doesn't matter whether you have all the money in the world. We've seen countless examples of projects that fell flat because of poor story. I'm going back to the story because that's where my alignment comes from. I am interested in work that speaks to me.